एंटायर स्क्रीन स्टॉप शेयरिंग कर दो। ये सेकंड है ना शेयरिंग ऑप्शन?
हाँ शेयर करना है।
ओके हाँ पीपीटी मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ। ओके ठीक है हो गया।
हाँ हो गया।
कुछ आ नहीं रहा। ठीक है उधर दिखेगा।
So good morning all. As you all know, this is the third session of Y4D. We have had our first two sessions extremely successful with more than expected people turning up, and it's a pleasure to see such a high turnout in this session also. And I hope you have had all a very nice Diwali weekend. And so we have our special guest here today, Mr. Diya, who is a founder of Fearless India, which is a media partner of Y4D. He is an entrepreneur and currently he's in Mumbai, right? Yeah, based in Mumbai. So as our special guest of honor today, we have Mr. Tushar Desai.
Thank you.
So he is a founder and a director at Emmersive Infotech, and he has been an ex-employee of BMC Software and probably the boss of Mr. Praful.
Oh my God. That's the story which outside world knows.
No, that's a true story, but
So yeah, he deserves a big round of applause for
Being boss of Praful.
So kicking off this, I would like to welcome Mr. Devang. Mr. Vijesh, would you like to give a bouquet to him? One nice photograph.
देवांग का आया ना विदेश का
हाँ फोटो आना दीपक one bouquet from you to Mr. Tushar. Deepak has been leading our activities.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so yeah, today Mr. Tushar would be explaining the challenges and risks that are faced by any startup. Actually, he has a good experience since he has started his own company. So his topic would be employee, right? And then Mr. Abhishek Tiwary. So he would be handling the topic we had our Diya making initiative this Diwali weekend, where we collected about 12,000 rupees by selling diyas decorated by the children. There's an organization, so yeah, so they cater to the needs of underprivileged children. So, I mean those who are just left alone by their parents and all. So we went there, we bought diyas and they decorated it. We sold it in our offices. So we collected about 12,000 there. And so he will be telling in details about that. So yeah, so you may start with your presentation.
Okay, perfect. I've been waiting for this. All right, hey, good morning, everyone. Praful knows I'm a very casual boss, so I'll try to keep it as interactive as possible. I have just 10 slides, so don't expect much, but I want to just give my experiences, what I have been through the whole journey, what was difficult, what helped, what did not help, and all that stuff, right? And then, so we will talk about the journey from employee to employer right now, and I don't know about future, but till now what has happened. And then I'll also try to touch base on, hey, why is this the right time, right? Where is India today? What is happening there? What kind of support do we have from government side, right? So I'll slightly speak on that angle. There are a lot of other interesting topics, and I'll work out with Praful in terms of if you guys are interested on the typical challenges that start before starting the startup that you guys would have where will the funding come from, how will the marketing happen and all. They all require like one session each, right? So we'll cover. So today I'll just have like umbrella, and then let me know anything that interests you. We can just come back and talk again. I do have my partner, Debashish Datta. Okay. So see, it's boss's world, right? So, so he was my boss in my second job, like about 14 years ago, right? And then after that, we are just together for one or the other reason. We have one more partner, Vivek Bide. He's from Adobe, and then NVIDIA, so all the graphics world. He's from there. He could not make it today, so sorry about that. Okay, all right, so let's start. The slide itself, it's the epicenter of startup revolution. Before that, let me just talk about my transformation from employee to employer. So I started back in year 2000, and I don't know how many of you know year 2000, right? yeah, you know, you're my son, so you know my son. So see, 2000 was really, really bad year for the IT industry. It was a big slowdown. And fortunately or unfortunately, that was the year when I came out of college. Those who got placements were receiving the letters, hey, please don't join, because you're not joining, right? That is what happened in 2000. Well, I joined a startup called Infodynamics. So I started as a developer there in Microsoft Technologies, right? And then, after about struggle of 1.5 to 2 years, I started earning my salary. Okay, that is how year 2000 was. But then I learned a lot. Startups really makes you learn a lot because you are on your own, right? From softwares, hardwares, everything, you are on your own, right? Then eGain happened. It's a contact center management software company. That is where I met Debashish, right? So the roots are right from there. There I really started my today's IT style lifestyle, right? That you guys are aware of. And that is where the journey really started of learning the real IT world. Then I had a very short tenure on the services company, which is Cognizant, right? Till then I was into products company, but I always wanted to figure out, hey, what is the flip side of the coin? And I went, nothing wrong with the corporate, but I was not the right person there because I'm a products guy. So I immediately came back to the product company, which is Avaya. If you know it, they are giants in telecom. So I played some role there. And then I landed in BMC Software, where I spent like maybe half of my career completely into IT service management and all that things, right? And then came the year 2015, right? So you would typically reach this stage in IT, 15 years in IT, you are feeling, hey, I need to do something of my own. Did it happen overnight? People just come and ask surprisingly, hey, how did this happen, right? We were never aware that you are doing this. But trust me, it starts from year 2000, right? When I enter into IT, that is where you have to really start building things. And one of the example of me being along with Debashish since year 2003 is, hey, it's like started building right from there. Right? So that's how the journey happens. Like our Flipkart hero says, right? To get the overnight success, I had to work hard for about 12 years. So people say it's overnight success, but then he had worked for maybe around 10, 12 years to really reach that kind of stage. Right? So that's really the journey, and I'll talk more about how exactly the things happen in the next slide. Sorry. Okay, so I have these two interesting pictures here. Many of you would know these stories. Can anyone say why that elephant with rope or this caterpillar story of a boy is there? Any guesses? How many of you know this story?
I think we see that picture where you need to come out of that.
Psychology that
The elephant cycle? Okay.
You need to break that rope to get on it.
And how about this guy? The sequence should be reversed actually, but anyway. A boy helping the caterpillar to come out of the cocoon and become a butterfly? No? Okay, so let me just spend some time there. So this is always a $1 million, question. Hey, when is the right time? When is the right time for me to enter into this, this kind of, when can I take this risk, etc. I have, in my network, I have both the examples like me, who has spent like 15 years serving MNCs, gaining the experiences, having some savings, and jumping into the venture. Lesser risk, more experience. This is one approach. I have another set of people in my network, 3 years, 4 years in their IT career. They have just taken the risk. Now, the risk they say is less because they have lesser family responsibilities and the home loans and whatnot. This IT thing really screws your life, right? They say, hey, buy car, buy flat, your EMIs have started. So all those risks are lesser in your early careers, right? So there are two types of people, two schools of thought. There are some success stories, there are some failure stories, right? So let me start with this story. This is a caterpillar story. So there was a small boy, maybe as young as my son. Oh, you are not small, sorry. Okay, then my daughter. See, they don't listen to me at home. That's why I bring them to public forum so that they at least listen to me. All right. So the boy saw one nice caterpillar in their garden outside the house, right? And he got interested and he asked his mother, "Hey, can I just have this caterpillar as my friend, as my pet?" And mother says, "Okay, go ahead." So he brings a jar, keeps the caterpillar there, and supports it, right? Keeps plants, keeps foods, whatever is needed, and everything is happy going, right? Suddenly one day he says, "Oh, it's building a cocoon." Right? And he is anxious, hey, what's happening? And then mother says, hey, don't worry, it's a part of process, it's building a cocoon, and this is how the growth happens and all that. He says, fine. So he enjoys even that, right? After some days, it says that, hey, there is a small opening in that cocoon, and the caterpillar is really trying to come out of it. And the boy really gets now excited, hey, what's happening? And he is noticing that, oh my God, that caterpillar is struggling, right? There's a lot of pain and it's not able to come out of that cocoon. And it says, I must help my friend, right? So the boy just comes and tries to help and then opens that hole a little bit and lets the butterfly come out of it. It is now turning into butterfly. Now what he watches is that caterpillar has a huge body, bulky body, right? But the wings are not big enough. That is what it's watching. And the boy is feeling, oh, fine. In some time, the wings will really spread. But that never happened, right? So struggle is good, right? And then the mother explains the boy that, hey, it was the part of the process. That struggle was actually going to help that caterpillar to transform into the butterfly so that the fluid flows out with that pressure. And even the wings and everything, the whole, whatever is needed goes up to the wings, and then it can really fly, right? So it's really about timing, right? So this is the example that I give to people that I feel do not jump, learn, have experience, enough experience so that you can really fly. There are people to support you even early in the career and even later in the career, right? So I usually say, this is the path I took. There's nothing right or wrong in IT. As I said, there are various examples where there are success stories where butterfly could actually fly, okay? But this is part of story. So that is one part of story. So what is the right time? Now comes this, our big, our friend with a strength which the friend itself is underestimating, right? So this story is where I just quickly cover a person is following, just passing by and sees that huge elephants are just tied with simple ropes. And he was questioning that guy, hey, why are these guys not able to break it and, just get freed up and then enjoy their whole life and all that? They say, hey, you know what, when they were kids, right, we tied this thing to their legs and they are grown up in that way, right? So this guy always feels that, you know what, this is, and it just doesn't realize what is my potential. So this is my another message that I always give to those who come to me. You should know your potential, right? Serving MNCs is not bad at all. And I thank all the MNCs which came to India long back, about 10, 12 years back, and gave us this kind of experience, right? But then what I noticed is, hey, there is this mental block that people are getting into. and then feeling that, oh, okay, this is how it is supposed to be. I'm supposed to learn this 5-figure salaries and buy houses and live happily, and that's it. But dude, if you look around the world, everybody who was at the top position of these Googles and Microsofts and Flipkarts are you guys, right? So there is nothing different, right? So this is another part. Now, when is the right time? So this is the good thing about the people who give such speeches like me, right? They never answer the question, okay? They always leave you with some thoughts, and it's easy for them. Yeah, okay, now we socho, maine to bol diya. 2 stories I have told you, now you decide, right? So trust me, guys, there is no easy answer to this, okay? All I would say is start early, start thinking towards it early, have like-minded people around, and then just plan it out and try it out, man. It's like there's a huge opportunity as far as business goes. It's all about how much you want to really go and grab it, right? So that is what it is. There are simple concepts like startups here. There's a Green Radhi. There's an app called Green Radhi, and they have Series A funding. They are coming for Series B funding. Huge, like simple ideas making huge businesses, right? So there's a lot to solve and lot to do as far as this entrepreneurship, concept goes in India. Okay, so this is the first thing that I really wanted to talk about. And hey, stop me anytime you want to, comment or ask or anything of that sort. Okay, here are some clippings which I have, picked up from internet or newspapers or somewhere. 15th August 2015. Okay, now I am unlike Praful. I am very away from government and the politics and all that. But then I do like what's happening nowadays in government space and the way they are supporting us. So 15th of August, our Honorable Prime Minister says, hey, Startup India, Stand Up India. Not necessarily this is IT. This is across all, all the verticals in India. But this is the kind of support which you can expect, which is coming from government, right? The demographics, no-brainer. Everybody knows that demographics of India is the key to business, whether it is MNC or some business in India. MNCs have leveraged this so far because majority of their consumer base is here. Then if you are starting something, that's your benefit. Your whole consumer base is right here, right? So demographic is our strength. There are some numbers. You can go to internet and figure out what kind of demographics India has, what will happen by 2020, what kind of strengths we will have, etc., right? Now, this number is very interesting. 19%, just 19% of India population is really mobile, mobile internet and internet penetration kind of thing. Still, the number is 243 million, right? Just imagine this number raising up to 50% by 2020. What happens?
Actually, the estimates are that it is going to be 750 million smartphones.
Smartphones, yes.
And virtually the entire population is going to be covered by mobile phones.
Exactly.
By 2020.
Exactly.
I mean, it's moving very fast.
Yeah.
It's moving very
fast. And you might want to ask my son. Look what he's holding in his hand. So he has the iPod, right? So kids of this age, even my daughter, she knows, hey, how do I unlock my phone? How do I go to YouTube? How do I use Google Speech? She doesn't type. Well, of course, she can't type. But she knows there's something called as Google Speech. So she will just open that and just say, hey, kids rhymes. And she plays it. Now, this is the thing which is in development, right? Imagine what happens in next 15 years. It's a huge potential. Nobody needs any kind of explanation out there. Here are some stats, okay, and these are from NASSCOM Startup Report 2014, little old. I'm sure the numbers are better than this. But no matter what, we are the 4th largest ecosystem in the world as far as this startup space goes, right? That is what is happening in India. 14% tech product startup. I always follow, hey, Infosys, TCS, Wipros did a great job by setting up something here, but they were all services, right? But yes, we got all the exposure to the MNCs, and we could see what kind of work is happening all over the world. But I was always, as a hardcore product guy, I was always interested in knowing what is happening around technology space. Are we really innovating something? Are we having the product companies which are having their own products rather than serving the outside market. But yes, that is also growing year on year. 90% of the so far the startups are in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Pune. Pune is so far still some less, but then we are improving big time. But we are at least in those 4 cities where most of the things are happening, right? And yes, the most important, who is funding this whole thing? So we are seeing a big uptake in terms of the angel investors, even the VCs. I don't have those numbers here, but even the VCs, angel investors, they are interested in various ideas, simple ideas from the Indian startups, right? You don't really have to run around to US and get a funding for your startup, and that's a good news, right? Earlier, if some startup had to start, they had to approach a consultant, and consultant picks up a meeting outside. Of course, dollars are good, but then if funding is available here, why not, right? At least your first Series A and all can happen here, and then when you really want to go worldwide, there are options, right? As one of the vertical and wing within Emmersive, we also help other startups to get funding, right? Because we have gone through the whole process. We know what are the pains. Why not have this as a service so that we can help others? And we really want to see as many mushroom tops coming up in Pune area with all this startups. Yeah.
Adding some data.
Sure. Are these like grabbable? Anybody can?
Yeah.
No, someone's name is there, so. Yeah, sorry.
So one, in that you're saying startups, one city that you missed out, okay, is Delhi. It's huge right now. Okay, so the biggest funded startups and all that.
They are happening there.
From there.
They are happening.
And the other thing, very interesting about Pune is that Pune actually has a very dense, deep, and long startup tradition. Okay, it's been happening from the days of telcos.
Okay. Yeah.
But the only thing is that the visibility to the Bangalore and Delhi
is more.
Startups is more.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that we have less.
True.
We probably have more.
Yeah, but it needs to be.
But it's not big.
Yeah.
Most of them are not so big.
Yeah. People still.
I think Infosys started from Pune.
Yes.
Infosys started from Pune. Yeah. Wasn't the case with TCS? No.
So some numbers I've seen, many years back actually, was that Pune had something like 3,000 startups. In the software industry.
The head office.
But they started.
It's a very large.
In Patni, I think Mumbai.
Patni also started in
Mumbai.
Yeah. So a lot happening, and I'm sure there are at least 5 or 6 more cities getting added at the end of it. Now look at that number. This is the projection, right? By 2020, they are saying there will be like 11.5K plus startups as a part of this whole initiative and the kind of funding that is happening all around, right? So huge opportunity waiting for all of us. Okay.
Just one more data.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's how I want it. That's why there are only 10 slides here.
So the other thing is, this is one number, okay, which is for the tech startups. Okay, but if you look at the startup and SMEs in general in India, okay, it is 42 million plus.
Right.
It is one of the biggest in the world.
Correct.
So it's actually, if you really look at it, the organized sector does not provide as many jobs as these like self-employed people and SMEs are actually creating most of the jobs.
Correct. That's true.
Not the government, not the organized sector.
Yes.
So that India is essentially entrepreneurial. If we were not that, we would have a lot of social problems.
Correct. I would love to hear that.
What is the benefit of starting these big startups in metro cities only? What if they are, if someone starts it in
non-metro city? Okay. So I'll tell you one secret. Okay. Even though you start a startup in metro city, my talent is coming from non-metro city. Okay. So where your infrastructure should be is where the really supporting infrastructure is available, right? Do we have good broadband services in metro cities versus non-metro cities? Is MSCV or whatever the electricity that you would need is available in these cities? Think about your employees. So 400, 500 people set up. Would they have enough good quality houses, water, the daily necessities. That is all taken care in a particular city, right? Depending on that, you would start your business in a particular city for one or the other reason. Either you are native to it, or there are better facilities, or typically in Pune, you find the talent easily because the education is so popular right here. And then the trends that we have seen is those who are from Pune usually go outside Pune. They want to be in Pune, right? So your attrition and everything is taken care of. Having said that, that's the infrastructure part. But does that mean that nothing is happening in the non-metro city? No. We both were in Solapur, or even some village of Solapur, some colleges out there, and we were amazed to look at the way students are coming up with the concepts, the small projects in IoT space. You name any current trend which will come in the next slide, and you tell me if they have not done any project in that line, right? So they are ready. The thing is, if you are starting your setup there, you would need the surrounding infrastructure. It benefits you in terms of cost, but then you should be able to sustain that whole thing, right? And things are changing at its own pace because we are used to slow pace. I hope it changes very fast. But typically, this is a long answer to your question because I didn't want to really differentiate between metro and non-metro. It's more about where do I get my infrastructure to support my people? I'll go ahead with that, right? Found out this chart. Typically, this will be another question that you, as a trying to become an entrepreneur, would want to know that, hey, which is the segment where I can start my technology company, right? And there are dozens. There are more than many ideas that are floating nowadays. But this is what that report feels is the trend, and there are reasons behind why they are, right? So mobile internet, the penetration right now is just 8 to 10%, right? And 50 to 60% is the uptake, right? And you said that number sometime back that it's going to be 700 million to 900 million in the time to come, right? So this is like 2025 is what they are. And I'm first time seeing 2025. Usually people say 2020 because it is so catchy word, right? So they just put that number. But that's the projection in that space. So anything you do, so today we talk to any startup, today we talk of any product or any client comes to us, they will say mobile first. Even if they are doing a .com, which is a web, they will say, I want it responsive, right? So any product that you do is a mobile first product, right now. That's the trend that is going on, right? Reason being, not every farmer would have a laptop. They may not have desktop. They may not have even the good power supply to it. However, they have a smartphone which starts from $4,000, goes up to $60,000, but they have a smartphone. They have internet connection on top of smartphone to run Facebook or WhatsApp for whatever reason, but they are connected, right? And hence, any idea which you have on technology, you have to think about mobile first, right? So that's the trend. Second is cloud technology. Now they see a big challenge, or rather opportunity there, because if you see the government services, right, today, that when the e-governance has started nowadays, but then that's the kind of shift that they are, virtually, they will be universally virtual by the end of 2025. If it goes with this pace, with what it has picked up, right? So a lot happening in the cloud technology and all that stuff. Automation of knowledge work, again, it all depending on, what kind of applications are today. So it is like online information booking kind of thing, which is happening today. But then it is going to be across sectors very soon, right? We are talking to at least about this, right? So it's very interesting space to be.
What is this, IoT?
I have IoT, Internet of Things, I'll talk about it. Yeah. The next is digital payments. I installed an app called Chiller. How many of you have it? Chiller? No? Oh, okay. So you don't go for party, or either you don't share money or something. Split the money, right? So what happens is you all went for a party or kuch bhi ho gaya and one person paid it. And it's so easy. You just select that guy, transfer 50 rupees to this guy, 55 rupees to that guy. They're all linked to the banks, right? So have you heard of IMPS? Yes. Right? Yes. We all have heard of it. How many of you have really used it? 1, 2, 3, right? This is there since 2 years, maybe, IMPS. But people were away, people were not ready to really transact over mobile, right? What SDFC did is they figured out, hey, we have to to kapda pehnana padega iske upar, right? They came up with a concept called chiller. Now chiller is you download, we both are friends, he has connected his mobile, his bank account, I have connected mine. And this is all back through IMPS, which is a government thing. It is there since 2 years. All I am doing is in a nice app, I am saying transfer 55.70 paisa to Praful. I am able to do that today. When earlier the cut, though I did not do it, so forget it. So earlier when it was coming to the contribution, you were even worried that mera paisa aane wala hai ki nahi. Now, yesterday we were in a party and on the dinner table the thing is happening. Hey, chal, isko chiller kar, usko chiller kar, and you are done. So your accounts are getting settled real time, right? Lot happening in the digital payments, mobile wallet, and everything. I love, I think it's PayUmoney. Whenever I book my show, right? They were smart, na? They gave us free service for 2 years. We got used to book my show. Now they started charging the royalty on top of it. One ticket, 40 rupees. It was painful, really. I can't pay extra 40 rupees to it. PayUmoney came in. PayUmoney says, hey, you know what? Don't worry. Pay through PayUmoney. I'll give you 5% discount on top of your transaction. Okay, whatever Book My Show paid me, PayUmoney is giving me back, right? So I'm happy. Book My Show is happy. PayUmoney, I'm still figuring out what they are doing, but they got good. They got good customer base in terms of this, and I'm sure there are big plans supporting what they are doing. But lot happening in the digital payment space. Well, this verifiable digital identity and all slowly starting. Internet of Things, people are gung-ho about it. You talk to any startups, even if they are not working in Internet of Things, they just add that buzzword in it, right? Internet of Things is giving life to all the non-living beings. Air conditioning, talking to the weather systems, and figuring out what is the weather outside, and adjusting the temperature on top of it, right? This is one use case. One startup we are talking to, they want the emergency system, wherein if somebody is traveling on expressway and car has banged, right? This guy talks to the police stations nearby, talks to the hospitals nearby, and the help is available right there, right? We all are knowing the home automation system. You are at the office, you can open your app, you can find out in which room which light is on. Probably not needed. Just switch it off from here. It talks over internet, and the light is off, right? But the more interestingly, the agriculture field, right? The farmers can now predict that if I have these much acres of land, and this is the crop that I want to grow, here are the type of pesticides that I am putting. Here is a full calculation of what should I do when. Where the system talks to the weather services, figures out what is going to happen. It starts the drip irrigation on its own, calculating the humidity in the soil, right? And this you can do even in your home gardens. You are gone out in the May vacation with the kids. Who is going to take care of your plant? You tell your neighbor. We are becoming antisocial. Now you won't need your neighbor, okay? So the system, right now I have seen a system which just beeps, hey, I need water. And then you just go and put the water. But now, hey, you connect the water system to it, and it's going to take the water on its own. You don't have to plant, put the water in the plant. Some people hate it because they love gardening, fine. But then there are some people who want gardening, but they are not able to really maintain it. They use all this technology part. Huge scope as far as Internet of Things goes, right? And of course, this transport distribution system where you are tracking where a lot of call centers have implemented a lot of solutions around when the female is traveling late night. The moment your car takes a wrong turn, immediately there are, the head office is alerted that, hey, this was the path, but then the car has taken this path. Why don't we just call up and find out, is everything okay, right? So a lot is happening even in that space. And there are a few others. So just go to McKinsey and try to fetch out what's happening in what space. And there are some numbers, interesting numbers. All I am saying is, when you read through this material, there'll be one or two small ideas, simple ideas which will come to your mind. Just latch onto it and try to do a POC. See, the formula of a successful startup: start early, do a POC, show it to 100 people, fail, start the next one. Seventh or eighth product that you will come up with is definitely going to succeed, right? This is the statistics. There are some cases where third, second has also clicked. There are some cases where even seventh did not click. But the key point was 90% of the cases, they stick to it. They stick to an idea, went to the market, validated it. If it flies, it flies. If it doesn't, they go to the next idea. They did not quit there, right? That's the simple formula. You don't have to be really, big innovation. What is Flipkart? Flipkart is Amazon, but Indianized Amazon. But then they are big. They are doing great things for India, right? It's helping to build the nation. And there are a few slides where I probably have what they have done for the nation. Anyway.
There are again, two data points.
Yeah.
One is that two important things. One is the rural electrification that is happening, right? And the very interesting thing in that is that there is a time-bound program to get all the rural electrification done, and there is a mobile app, that individuals can actually download and monitor the progress of the rural electrification. This is
correct. They are giving visibility to.
So this is going to happen. Yeah. So that's going to actually expand the market, right?
Right.
And also the other thing is Bharat broadband.
Yeah.
So there is already a consultation paper, on that. On the TRAI side, and they the idea is to connect every village to the broadband.
Correct.
So that's, what it does is expands the market hugely,
right,
in the domestic space itself.
Yeah. Let me know whenever my. Happening earlier, and I really respect the MNCs which came here, but at the end of it, when you are making so much of progress here, let's say IBM is making so much of progress, whatever profit is happening, at the end of it, it goes to the source in one or the other form. It's helping to build our nation, but then the profit is going back, right? What Flipkart and all did, right? The Flipkarts of India is really helping the nation to bring back the top talent. Okay, if you go through, they are very bold. Okay, and if you go through their hiring that they have done, they have picked up people from Google, they have picked up people from Microsoft, the big shots from Silicon Valley. They have brought them back to India, and they are controlling the whole the progress. And that is what our Prime Minister keeps telling, that I want the talent to be back to India so that India can grow. If India can make the other things possible outside India, why not here, right? So any startups, whatever small scale we are doing here, is finally going to add up to this whole, the structure which is getting ready. By any, the export has to be in comparison to import, and that's our biggest problem today. If you look at those charts, it's like double, right? We are importing a lot, but then we are exporting very little. And IT and the technology is something which can easily help you to export the things, right? Of course, there are other ways, and we are doing a lot of export in petroleum products and whatnot. They are the biggest. But then in IT, it is easy even for a small engineer to be a freelancer and do big orders sitting at home and earn in dollars. Helps building the nation, right? And we folks from IT should be definitely doing that as much as we can help our nation to come to that level, right? Otherwise, for rest of the products, even this bottle, I am sure is not manufactured here in India, right? But then there are certain things that we cannot change, but in IT we can definitely help, because we are the guys who are really running the IT world outside India, and why not here, right? Okay, this is just a list of a few things which our government is helping, and beyond this, there are of course angel investors and all those. But these are interesting to know, by the way, and some app is probably needed, which can really increase the awareness of what are the initiatives that government has for the startups. If you read through them, there are so many things which you can just leverage upon, right? At least from the knowledge perspective, and I'm sure it is little challenging right now to really realize that kind of money, but we are also fighting, right, on how to get things straightened out. So there's a Startup India initiative. It arranges easy finance. There's a SETU. So SETU is like self-employment and talent utilization. This is something which is again declared in last budget. EVs portal was there, but then they are now promoting as much as possible so that people, this is like one window to get 14 regulatory permissions, like in one shot kind of thing. Not necessarily only IT, it's like across. Mudra Bank, again, microfinance unit development finance helps you to get the finance at a lesser rate in a, faster than the other banks which will be there. There is an AIM program. It's an innovation promotion program. This AIM is very interesting, right? Just go through it, and there's a lot to do in that space also. Okay. Then there's some royalty tax related thing. There's a startup network. Again, if you can leverage that, there are IIMs, IITs, big shots who government has appointed that hey, be part of this network and help the startups. Just to brainstorm, just to toss the idea, right? That is also happening from that. Now, this website might help you in terms of hey, what kind of government funding is available for the startups. Right? So I've just written that kind of link. And of course, this whole project of Smart India, Smart Cities and Digital India, that has opened up crazy opportunities for the startups, right? So when I was talking to Solapur kids, they did a project. They are part of, Solapur is one of the smart city which is declared, right? And this college, Orchid College, is part of that initiative. And they are doing the real life problems, right? What was happening in Solapur? The milk tankers, which were going to the villages, and there were mafias. So the people were never getting the milks, in time, or rather they were not even getting. These guys developed the GPS IoT enabled thing for them. Very simple. They track the tanker, whether it has reached or not. Anybody can do that. Nothing cool about it. But they also added IoT on top of it, and they said, what is the quality of milk? When it got delivered, did this guy just mix some water as a part of it? Did it really reach with the kind of quality that we wanted it to reach? And these kids did that. We saw the demo, right? So that is happening as far as smart cities goes. Won't it be nice? I don't know how many of you use public transport because they are all IT, right? But then they have the app which shows, hey, where is my PMT bus? Right? Is it reaching? It is such a big pain today. I don't even know whether the bus is going to come or not. But I can track on my mobile the bus that I am waiting for. Where is it right now? So all these smart cities, digital India is adding up. Now this idea, now listening to this idea, I am sure one of you has come up with another idea. Acha, ye ho sakta hai, so maybe this is also possible, right? I know some of you already have it in your mind. This is where it helps. So as a nation, I would say we are in a very good position right now to really jump into something and do something, right? Oops. Okay, yeah, here are just the credits to whatever information I shared with you. Apart from the elephant story and the other thing, the rest all is from internet, so nothing goes as a credit to me. There's a lot of information is available on internet, so just go through it and feel free to download, discuss, go to various forums. I'm sure some of you are part of the coffee clubs which happens in Pune startups. Everybody is invited there and they talk a lot, and I'm sure this group in itself is going to create a very dedicated and focused group which is going to talk about not only just technology, but I'm seeing that you're also doing a lot of social work also, which is a great thing. So that's the end of the 10th slide. I'm sure the next one is just the thank you slide. So I really thank Y4D and the whole team. I'm sure Praful never works. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are helping Praful in setting up this whole thing.
This was not expected.
You asked me to speak the truth, right? No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Actually, everybody knows here. So
What knows? The first part of the story or the second? So I'm sure you guys are doing, amazing job. And if there is any way that Immersive Infotech can, help you out, we are very near. We are at Balewadi Fata, right there. If some of you know .fit Gym, we are in the same building, right, after .fit Gym. So we would like to get associated in whatever way we can, any technology support or anything you want. We are also startup, by the way. I kept this immersive introduction later because I wanted to speak the main thing first. So we started 2 years back, but we started as a learning and training division in animation space, right? All 2D, VFX, 3D kind of thing. And then we decided to venture into technology, wherein earlier we were doing technology along with training, but then we separated it out. So that way, Immersive Infotech is just like 6 months old company. And we do have some funding wherein we are a little comfortable and getting the shirts ready and whatnot. But then our space right now is digital content management related stuff. So 2D, 3D, VFX animation. That is our focus. IoT and big data, again, something that excites us being the product guys. That is something where we are researching things. And then anything and everything that comes under IT services as the cash generation thing for us. So we do around that. So we have done a lot of .coms, a lot of mobile commerce. Soon you will hear about a hyper-local app which is going to really shake the world of Flipkart and all. It's called Amoda. We are linked to it. We are the technology partner there. It's a hyper-local thing. So whatever Flipkart does for the biggies, these guys have done even for the Kirana Walas right here, right? So that is again a big thing which is happening in the market. Food, jump into it. Anything you want to do with grocery, food, restaurant business, pick up, drop, logistics, hot market today, right? Anything under the makan, right? So it's all roti kapda makan. If you look at it, anything in roti kapda makan as a startup flies, right? Keep mobile first and be around these three, you are successful, right? Something of that sort. So I have I do have a visiting card. I just leave it with you. You can maybe distribute to people later. I didn't expect more people, so I don't do this much. Okay. Any questions? Anything?
And we have a column, is the bubble bursting for India's online startups? And they have given examples of restaurant search website Zomato, food delivery app, tiny housing, home.com, housing portal.
Correct.
And they are saying that these things are there at such high valuations.
Yes.
That now they cannot sustain it and they have to lay off.
Correct.
In big way.
Correct. So yeah, I mean it's a part of story. It happened even with the services company, right? Even Infosys, Wipro, TCS, even though they were in services, there was no bubble, nothing. But they had to lay off big time whenever the cycle flows through. So what happens is, okay, so this valuation thing might require a separate session, but this valuation game is very different game. Okay, all of these biggies are in losses. Flipkarts, any name you take, they are actually in loss, right? But then their valuation is increasing twice and thrice every year, or even more, like 6 times, 5 times kind of thing. Because the discounts and all that Snapdeals are giving, they are from the financer's pocket. Not that the Reebok guy is giving you that discount. That is something that Snapdeal is giving you, right? But then the way the valuation is done, in that space, there is a correction needed, right?
That's what I'm saying. That is the sustainability there.
There is definitely sustainability. As far as the consumer market goes, it's not going anywhere, right? We were buying from Amazon.com earlier. Now we are buying from Amazon.in and Flipkart.com, right? So consumer market is always there. Now, when Flipkart says I am XX billion, whether that is right or wrong, now that's a correction in the calculation which is needed, right? That does not mean that, hey, this is all virtual mithya and just don't get into it. No. As you see, even government is going virtual, and your daily needs and all, everything has to go virtual, right? So I would say nothing wrong as such, like, hey, not like the books of account are showing something wrong, but it's the way the valuations are done. There are a lot of acquisitions happening, by the way, behind the sign. Now, this tiny owl, which is in news, there is a different story at the back of it, right? They got acquired by somebody, and then they have different plans. And there are various ways to show how you are doing today and save on tax or whatever way, right? So read even those stories. They are there on internet. So when you read this NDTV, just go to and say Tiny Owl, and you will see all the stories around it. But yeah, they made money. Everybody made money. Tasty Khana, it was Dev's friend, and he made a lot of money when he was acquired by Food Panda, right? How much? 14 million. They started as an event management company, and then they figured out that in this whole event management, the food thing is the main thing. Why to do event management? Let's get into food. And then they started Tasty Khana, and then Food Panda came in, and that just happened, right? So don't worry too much about those, right? Start it right now. Bolta hai na, Ganga beh raha hai. Get into it, and then there are various ways to come out of it.
So this is actually the valuation. There's another perspective to that valuation. Right? People are not saying that okay, Flipkart and their app is worth so much. Actually, what they're saying is something like this: okay, that the opportunity is so big, and to get to that opportunity, you need this kind of investment. That's one way of looking at it. The other thing is who to back. The one who's got the momentum backs it. It's like that. So that's how Flipkart gets a valuation. Actually,
Yes.
It's not so much that what they've created somebody else cannot create or something like that.
Correct. And main thing is today, when we talk to investors from foreign markets or even here, they are saying, hey, 5 years, I don't want single money from you.
Right.
Don't worry, go and spend. It's a user-based game. It's the number of transaction game. They know the formula. Get the user base to X number, and some biggie will buy me out. I'll make money, and I'm done. They are not worried right now that how much loss I'm making every year. That's how the whole market is flowing right now. Will there be correction? Yes. The correction has to be there in any field and anything that you do in this world, right? But that doesn't stop us from, really trying.
Actually, it's the whole entire story. When my mother was a kid, India में कोई ज़्यादा चाय वाय नहीं पीता था. उस वक्त Bond had come to India.
Right.
They used to give free chai. Okay. To deliver it to home. बना हुआ अच्छा चाय. Okay. आज सब चाय पीते. So in the initial years, probably they did not make this.
Yeah.
That's the cost.
Yeah.
It's a marketing cost. Cost of acquiring the market share. That's it. After that, it's that's stuff.
More about funding goes on. Exactly how it goes.
Yes, I know, it's interesting. It's very interesting thing. So, Praful, why don't you? They would like to know about funding, and I don't know.
Y4D funding or a startup funding?
What do you think?
If it's a Y4D funding, there is a bank card and you can transfer to that. If startup funding, we'll take a separate session because we are already out of time. So we Tushar taken 1 hour.
Yeah, he has asked me to shut up, so I.
No, it's not shut up, but because we have another presentation, and I know few people they want.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, but there is a lot. I mean, we can cover that.
We already had a first session on innovation, actually on startup innovation.
Okay.
This was like more practical.
Okay.
Third, we'll
What happens in reality?
what happened in reality. But I think you have not covered risk part. Actually, you've shown the only.
Well, the risk. Okay, the risk part. Let me tell you in one statement. Okay, and it's very easy to understand. So, and I'm sure they will agree to this. Every week, we feel, let's shut this down. Every week, we'll feel, oh, what the heck? We were earning so well. Let's shut this down. Every next day, we feel, oh my God, this is an awesome opportunity. Let's jump on it. Right? So it's a roller coaster. There is definitely a risk. It's not a cakewalk. You need to have in mind, good 2 years cushion. Nothing is going to come for 2 years to your house. You need great support from your family, and that's why my family is here today. Unless they would have supported my decision, I don't think I would have come out. I used to tell them it's a Sone ka Pinjra, this whole, these MNCs. And golden cage, by the way, not Sone ka Pinjra, it's a golden Sona. Okay? So, and I want to come out of it, and there's a risk, of course, right? So you should know your risk. I would say, rather than knowing your risk appetite, I would say build your risk appetite. Okay, that's the right way to put it, and jump into it, right? And let me assure you, if you put right energy in right direction, there's no chance of failure, no chance. And at the end of it, you would at least learn something. And there was an interesting article. Now I'm talking because they are asking, so don't blame me. There was one article in newspaper where they says the MNCs, the big MNCs, are looking at the CEOs and the founders of the company who have failed in their startups, right? They are looking at such people who have started the startup and they failed. And they specifically are paying more to them because this guy has seen the full cycle, right? And he knows how to run the business. And awesome. So I'm telling you, even if you are a big fan of working for MNC, just try this out, your salary will be doubled. Okay. All right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
I think we can have a lot many sessions on this.
Yeah, sure. I would love to comment on.
Yeah, just go so on finance part actually somebody asked question. So there are small steps. We are working with Mudra actually. So Apurva is taking the finance from Mudra for example. So this way we will need to find out actually because I think Tushar and these guys are even Sudhir is there, so they are already running company. But as a group, we are also very new and we are trying out many things. If we get successful in Mudra, we will put as a template for others actually. I think Mudra is the easiest way, but that's for very for small scale industry. But for startups and all those things, I don't think Mudra helps.
Should be there.
It should be there, but that will be as a group we can figure out actually.
Maximum cap is 10 lakh rupees. Cap is 10 lakh.
Cap is 10 lakh.
Data interest? No, 1%.
No, it will depend on banks actually.
It depends on the Mudra portal only.
It's a Mudra.
See, the banks, why the difference is banks also lending their own loans in the name of Mudra, repackaging of their own loan. But the official, the interest is 1%. Under the Mudra repackaging and that possible.
Yeah, so take that finance part.
Quickly moving on then. Abhishek, start with the presentation, please.
Thanks, sir. We have, with the years passing by, we have arranged and organized various events. This was a part of our event. We conducted it in the week of Diwali. The motive behind was to help out people, those don't have the opportunities or those don't have their loved ones to help them out. So what we did, we planned out something called a Diya making event. In this event, just we did an analysis and found out orphanage. It was not actually an orphanage. There were children, those did not have family, and there were children, those had family, but they were not actually supporting them. So a person named Girish is actually supporting these children. And the best part of this house, where these around 300 children live in, is they try to develop their skill so that they can sustain themselves. There is no need of fund from outside. So we went there.
Next page, sir. Next page, yeah.
So here I have put an image and a question. Where there we came to know that there were some children those did not have their parents or they were homeless. But some had their parents, but they had a criminal background. So most of the time they spent in prisons. So they were, you can say, nobody was around them to look for. So what idea do we get once we see these children? If suppose these children were left on the street, the very much possibility of them becoming a criminal was on higher side. But you can see that Girish, the person, without coming into limelight, he lives a very, very humble life. And without coming to limelight, he is helping these 300 plus children in education. He gives them training on various soft skill developments like making these diyas, making the birthday cards, making these bicycle repairments and motorcycle repairs. Even he helps them out in for higher studies as well, for graduation and all. So somewhere he's helping out in forming a better India, which we actually dream of. The name of the place where we visited was Samrashtra Gurukulam. I have already mentioned a home for more than 300 homeless children. It is more than 300. It is around 345 or something. The number is. It's a Pimpri Chinchwad.
So what is the concept there actually? So this is Mr. Girish Prabhu. He takes all the homeless kids, especially those kids whose parents are either criminals or they both are in jail. So he don't want them to become criminals. Actually, they will become directly. So we take them and this is for both for girls and boys. So I think there is 100 girls and 200 boys around together. And it's not only like they have the self-sustaining. So they go for this idea making or small thing making.
They have their own lab wherein they have installed a lathe machine. They have a wooden lathe machine which operates on iron. Wooden lathe machine for the wood operation. They are making these furnitures which are sold out, marketed by themselves. They are fully dependent on themselves. They are using those solar panels for electricity. They clean the area around. It's a big area. They clean it, and they are very much aligned to the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. We have seen slogans written there. And Girish Prabhu, he never came into limelight for the work he is doing. It is really appreciable, but nobody knows until we visited. And once we visited, we tried out that more and more people come to know about this Samrashtra Gurukulam. So we also let this name into our companies like TCS. Once we, one of my friend Vijesh, he helped out Samrashtra Gurukulam to get around 12,000 rupees from TCS. And I also approached out to my company, and some of the people from my company visited and offered some amount to them.
क्योंकि इस तरह का प्रमोशन होगा तो लास्ट टाइम भी हमने लेक्चर्स दिए सुने थे, क्योंकि क्या है ये थोड़ा सा पुराने जमाने की सोच है कि हाँ हम करेंगे अच्छा काम और कुछ बात नहीं करेंगे उसके बारे में, क्योंकि बाकी का जो नॉइज है ना उसको तो काउंटर करना है ना, नहीं तो
नहीं वो अभी आपको इम्पैक्ट में दिखेगा।
सब बेमतलब की
इम्पैक्ट क्या है ये आएगा आपका और
नहीं तो बेमतलब की बात ज्यादा सुनने को आती है।
This is an initiative wherein we were trying to find out. There are a lot of organizations which do these kind of activities, but we were also very much concentrated on whether this organization really helps in building these children, and these children helps out building in our nation. So, to our notice, they were highly trained as far as skills were concerned. We just had to say them that these are the diyas that we are providing you. You have to paint it, and they delivered an excellent job. which we sold it to around 45 rupees, starting from 25 to 45, and it was sold in within 4 or 5 days. And our aim has always been in helping out people. Those are working on the positive age in the sense not just for themselves. They are very much devoted in towards the society, towards the betterment of the society, towards betterment of needful. And Diwali being the festival of light, we don't find a better time to organize such an event. I'm just having problem. First visited Samrashtra Gurukulam, we were able to figure out there is a crisis of fund for this organization, because they had everything sufficient enough, but when you think of giving a better citizen to your country, nothing is enough. Everything has to be provided at each and every step. So what we thought, if somehow we are able to give a marketing platform to this organization from ourselves, it would reach out to some people, those really want to help them out, and in future they may get some better funding, so that the education of these children can be taken care of. Now we had a talk with what is his name, Girish, Sri Girish, and he was saying that we cannot expect every children to be a scholar, every child here to be a scholar. So the initiative is, what they plan out is, we try to figure out which child can be groomed into a scholar and can acquire a higher degree. They have till class 12. They give classes for up to class 12, and after that they send them to colleges. But the first batch to send to colleges is still awaited. So they have started training them in various aspects as well, like tailoring. Tailoring is one of the part that they do. The lathe processing skill, the Diya making, the card, the birthday cards or the other cards that they make. Then they have these paintings type of skills being developed there. They have the bicycle repair workshop, wherein children are given the hand-on training on repairing the bicycles. They also have a workshop wherein they are given the training for repairing the motorcycles.
Actually, when we visited there, earlier also they were preparing diyas for themselves. They planned that they will prepare some diyas, like 1,000 diyas, and they will alone sell that. When we visited there, they showed us the talent there. They had already prepared some thousands of diyas. Actually, they prepared from the scratch. They went there for painting.
We purchased,
but they had made it from scratch. So they are already talented.
So the one I would like to add that one other way of supporting them is, whenever you as a group is gifting something to somebody, including these bouquets, you should use their product. That is how we used to, like, if I'm supporting some organization, if I am anytime gifting anything to anybody, it would be through them.
and one more thing, they manufacture wooden products,
Right.
furniture. So like chairs, the easy
Right.
chairs that they manufacture there are very good. You can visit and take.
Find out that actually they can make from small.
Yeah, I mean, that helps them.
Actually, a big opportunity here is creating a marketplace for local products.
Right.
Difficult day, but
With many events around, we have organized from the year 2014 since then I joined Y4D. This is also an event where we just learn something. We as a team are very much focused on delivering things that would directly help out our initiatives. Initiative in the sense we want social things that are a problem to us to be solved. We don't concentrate on things that are being taken as an initiative like other foundations who confront on any initiative taken by others. We don't believe, and this is what we think can help us out in future. And every initiative that we take, we first try to figure out whether it is feasible or not. Because when we took the initiative of this Diya making event, it was like whether those small children would be able to make those diyas. The same place to find out whether they are actually capable enough to make those diyas or not, and we found that they are much smarter than what we were expecting. Because as a part of enjoyment that day. We sold around 600 plus diyas. That included in the companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, BMC.
Don't forget BMC.
Then it was sold to various housing societies like Megapolis, Callisto. The total contribution that we are planning to give it to them is 11,670. We'll round it off, and is around 12,000.
Yes,
The best part that we achieved from this event was we got connected with around 150 plus people, because we were selling diyas to them and they were asking about what is this Y4D organization doing. We were happy enough to explain them what we are, what kind of platform we offer to people, and what is our objective that we have set to achieve in coming days. And also, we were able to increase the fundings for this Samrashtra Gurukulam, because people from my company, Infosys, they visited on the day of Diwali. They gave children sweets. They gave them. They sponsored one-time meal for the children there. So it was in anyhow a help for them in saving.
Yeah, so before even we give that check of 12,000 rupees, they got already like 1 lakh rupees of funding from various sources to support. Like my current manager, not yet, current manager, he got around 40K, like water cooler and a lot of things there. So that's where like once you put this type of activity, maybe we think it's very small, but even if like 20 people share on Facebook, a lot of people come to know like this is something they are doing. Thing.
And good thing is there is already the CSR that companies have to do. So since we are in all these IT companies, you can always leverage the CSR funding from the company for these activities.
Right.
These are some of the images on the day we organized the event. We would like to thank some of our volunteers who were actively involved. Neha, she is not present today. Deepak, yes, Sachin is not present today. Chetan, and all the people who donated for the after hearing about Samrashtra Gurukulam and the people who purchased the Diyas to make this event a really successful one. If you have any question regarding the event.
No, this is good. The only thing I would say is, try to, so even in our companies, right, it becomes a one-time kind of thing. But try to figure out a business.
Actually, also work with a lot of such organizations, also, right?
But actually, again, doesn't come to that point, but as a group, we cannot support to everyone actually. So we will need to start somewhere.
Yeah.
There's one more plan, so I will explain this. I will explain that what we are trying to do.
So, yeah, before concluding,
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek, for explaining.
if you have any questions, you can write
Yeah, so thanks everyone for your active participation to our sessions. I see a lot of people are regularly coming to Y4D events. But one thing which we are missing, we need more feedback because we are working on two fronts. One is trying to build our own team also. So you will see every time some new volunteer presents something actually. So that's a part of our internal preparation. We know that we are not that much formal in a lot of things. Like our anchoring, we are improving. So a lot of things we are improving basically. He improved, but so please, you should not laugh. Yeah. So we are doing a lot of such. So you give us feedback if you want and like us be a part of thing. You can suggest us speakers because we like to good speakers to come here and motivate us. It's not only motivation. We want some of us to come ahead and speak on different topics. There are a lot of speakers around. They want to come, but we don't want to prepare that much actually, and that's why we avoid high-profile speakers. We want people among us to stand and guide actually, because that connects us directly. Because if Tushar speaks, it's connect with us. If Flipkart guy will come and speak, I don't think we'll believe on him, because we see Tushar from from my boss to know he's started the company. So we like that type of people to come ahead and speak on this platform. Regarding like Y4D activities, so we know our limitations, so we are not trying to catch up a lot of things. But once our taxation process get clear, what we are trying to set up a funding portal for NGOs. So those NGOs who don't have IT like setups, so we'll provide them IT setups, so they can accept donation on our platform, and we'll only processing fee we will do that what will be the legal fees, and then we'll handle. So we'll market for them on Facebook and all those things. And but there are some legal challenges for that. Once we get like the IITG and all this certification, we start that. Already there are 4 or 5 NGOs, they have shown their interest on this. Some are like rural NGOs because they don't have any IT setup, nothing. They are not, but they are doing very great jobs actually. So we'll partner with them and we will arrange this type of like IT setup. So that is our
Then you should restrict to this real NGOs. You should be controlling which NGOs should be taking donation from your portal.
No, that will be. So how it will work actually, it's not open portal. Right. They will come to us, they will sign a bond, contract with us, okay, I am partnering and I'm giving a legal right to me actually to collect the donation. Right. So I am collecting donation, and then quarterly or depending on how much donation is collected for their cause. So depending on quarterly or yearly we can do it. So this model is very famous in US and all those places. But because in India there is a lot of limitation on RBI, crowdsource funding and all those things. So we will need to figure out legal formalities. But I think if we tie up with like 20 or 25 organizations, there is no restriction. But if I go for more and then small ticket payments, then we'll need some RBI approvals and all those things. So thanks for your time. I think we are end of the session. So again, back to the.
Okay, so finally, while ending this, so I would like Mr. Praful, a memento to Mr. Tushar.
Is still something?
Yeah,
Is it a Diya?
Yeah, we will some trophy with Y4D.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Nice. So good.
Thank you. That's
It's
nice.
a pleasure having all here. So, kindly fill that feedback form and your name. name and email address so that we may contact you later on. And if you have any questions, you can write it on the back of the page.
यार वो थोड़ा अभी एक्सपेक्टेशन ज्यादा नहीं हो रहा है क्या?
It's a young thing to ask for me.
हाँ, वो हो सकता है.
No, so young is so we explained in our first session that young is not about age, it's about passion.
Okay, that is for them.
So young is
One group photo would be good.
हाँ एक group
Oh, yeah,
photo
yeah,
लेते हैं
So
थोड़ा सा.
just
come
crowd
on.
over here.
So Devashish, come on.
सुधीर जी
Take a group photo.
आइए इंट्रोडक्शन हो चुका है पहले तो फोटो के लिए आ जाइए.
Stop करना.
हाँ ये बंद कर दो.